Hi everyone and welcome to another Brushmaster video. We're continuing the work on the Daybreak Miniatures Orc bust today, and I'm just painting all the main skin on the body area, which is it's very similar to the face, but it's a lot more broader muscles and bigger flatter areas. So as you can see, the body was base coated in dark sea blue, which is a nice solid dark bluish greenish colour, I would say, and it works really well for this orc skin base. So the first highlight I'm adding here, I've added a little bit of an intermediate green into the dark sea blue, and I've actually thinned it down quite a lot for this process. On these larger flatter areas like these shoulder muscles, I want to try and get a smoother transition as I'm painting. So as you see with this, I paint a lot of this without too much blending by using thinner coats. The downside of that is it takes many coats to get some sort of coverage. So I tend to flip between the two methods. Sometimes I paint with thicker paint so that I get a more solid opaque base coat. And here you can see the transitions I'm going through. So this is the dark sea blue. Okay, this is our base coat, and this is virtually the highest value. So we're transitioning between these two colors. So it's quite a big jump in between the two. Therefore, that's why I'm using the thinner, more diluted layers. As I was saying, my normal process, like I used on the face here, was I tend to use slightly thicker paint, less diluted, and I glaze and blend each layer in, which on smaller areas I actually find a lot quicker. But this method here, I'm just diluting the paint more, and as you can see, I'm just building the opacity up in each layer as I paint. Now we're going to focus more on this left, or his right shoulder, but our left side as we look at it. I won't show the right hand side so much, but what you'll see at the end is I've focused very much on the light source here, which would be from upper left. So I'm concentrating more of the brighter highlights on this shoulder that I'm painting now. And as you see it progress, you'll see the other shoulder and the other side of the model as we go, and that you'll see is less bright than this side as it is further from the light source. And now I'm on to more and more intermediate green into the mix. This is almost pure intermediate green now. And as you can see, I'm still adding thin layers. And with each of these muscles, it's very important to concentrate the highlights near the top. Now that's true in the case of most muscles, like the abs here. You see I'm painting very much to the top of the muscles. And muscles, 99% of the time, they connect to the muscle above with the highlights we paint. The only difference is these shoulder muscles, and it's because of their shape. So you'll see here I concentrate the highlights more into the middle top area. And that's because the top of the muscle folds away from the light. so I don't connect the top of those muscles. But I believe this is the right place for the light source for these. This intermediate green layer, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit more transition lines because this is more slightly thicker, but it's also got a bit more white in the paint. And I find any color that has white in it, I tend to get a bit of a sort of a more pasty, chalky look, and it leaves more outline. So I do a little bit of glazing and blending in between some of these layers further on. But you can see the brightness in the color is building really nicely now on those shoulder muscles. From here in, this is pure intermediate green now, and you can see it's a lot brighter in value. I've stepped up the value contrast now, and I'm just trying to hit the tops of muscles and bits that stand out. I'm also starting to paint the veins and the splits and cracks and damage in his skin. And this worked really well. This color, it was nice and thin, so it didn't leave a big outline, but it stood out really nicely against the darker tones of the shadowy areas especially. But the veins come out very nice indeed, and later on I add some pinky red into these wounds and cracks he's got in his skin. So here it looks like I've got a little bit of the yellow color in the intermediate green now, and I'm just focusing on very small highlights and adding brightness where the muscles and the part of the skin are facing up and nearest to the light source. So that was the skin pretty much done there. I did a little bit of glazing in between some of those layers to smooth it out, and I'm painting on now these pustules and boils as I did in the face. And the base layer for these was orange brown, and there was an awful lot of them all over this model. I was really quite worn out by the time I'd finished painting them all, but each one took about 2 to 3 coats of the base color to actually build up the color I wanted. And here now I'm adding a final highlight to these boils and pustules, and I used pistachio from AK Interactive, which is one of my favorite colors. I use it in a lot of highlight tones and blending, and this just adds a little edge highlight to a lot of these boils and makes them stand out and look pretty cool. I think as I said in the face video, I would probably add a little bit of color around them, maybe a red a saw point looking, a little bit of a glaze of red in there. But at the end I was actually really pleased with how it all come out, and I probably won't come back. The final bit here is I mixed up a fleshish sort of colour in with the intermediate green, and I just went over and highlighted his nipples. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next Brushmaster video.